Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is the case of Brandon versus the state of Tennessee. Part 3. Brandon accepted a plea deal under the false belief that he had no way to prove he acted in self-defense. The district attorney actively suppressed key facts. In this series, we are presenting that suppressed evidence. Exhibit by exhibit, we reveal what they did not want him or you to see. 18-year-old Brandon was in an altercation involving firearms, where he was forced to make a split-second decision to defend his own life and the life of his girlfriend. Tragically, this encounter resulted in the death of a 20-year-old individual who was the son of a DTF agent and an active officer within the very department that investigated the shooting. What followed was a coordinated effort to bury the truth. As we examine the exhibits in Part 3 of the series, I invite you to weigh the evidence for yourselves. Was this a fair investigation, or a calculated cover-up designed to protect one of their own? Brandon has maintained from day one the individual put a gun to his head, and he shot him in self-defense, but detectives report no gun was found on the deceased. At the close of Part 2, the evidence spoke for itself. Between a 911 audio reporting someone in all black running from the scene and the dual blood spatter patterns moving in two directions, not just one, as Detective Ramirez claimed his official report and swore under oath, it leaves no doubt that someone else was at the crime scene that night. This physical evidence completely destroys a narrative pushed by Detective Ramirez, who testified that no one else was seen. So, if someone else was out there, who was it? Let's look at the suppressed evidence to see if we can answer that question, and see if it leads us to the biggest mystery of this entire case. Was the deceased armed? And if so, who removed the firearm before the scene was secured? Let's dive deep into the evidence and find out exactly what happened that night.
Anybody? I just wanted to let y'all know that I saw somebody run back behind the house across the street from me, and they looked like they were in all black.
We know the person running away wasn't Brandon or his girlfriend. They left the scene in a vehicle. And we know it wasn't Ethan. Ethan moved directly toward his house, creating the blood spatter pattern found in that direction. So, who was running in the opposite direction, leaving a second trail of blood? Hidden deep inside that massive data dump were statements from two of Ethan's buddies. Given to police that very night, both claimed they spent most of the day with Ethan, but left shortly before the shooting occurred. The first buddy's statement puts their departure at around 9 p.m., but the second buddy shifts the timeline entirely, claiming they didn't leave until 9:15 p.m. But it gets worse. The family discovered police body cam footage showing those exact same two individuals arriving right back at the scene. They claimed to the officer that Ethan's mother had called to tell them what happened, which is why they returned. Take a close look at the individual on the left in the body cam footage. Notice anything interesting about what he's wearing? You guessed it, all black, while there is some white lettering on the front of his shirt. If you are running away into the darkness, that lettering is not something a witness would ever see from behind. This places an individual matching the exact description of the fleeing suspect right back at the crime scene. This critical connection could finally answer one of the biggest mysteries of this entire investigation. What happened to the gun Ethan pointed at Brandon? When investigators secured the scene, that weapon was nowhere to be found. Is it possible that one or both of these individuals removed the gun from the scene immediately after the shooting? The physical evidence tells a story that the prosecution actively suppressed. If Ethan's gun was dripping with blood when it was picked up, removing from the scene would leave a trail in that exact direction. And remember, the neighbor saw the runner fleeing in that very same direction. Also, the walkie-talkies found in the road. This perfectly explains why a second trail of blood was found moving away from the body. It shows that a critical piece of evidence, dripping with blood, was removed from the crime scene and carried in the exact direction the runner was fleeing. Brandon had absolutely no idea this evidence even existed when he signed that plea deal. Across all 7 separate police reports documenting this investigation, there is not one single mention of the 911 call, the blood trail moving away from the body, or the runner fleeing the scene. Stay tuned as we dive even deeper into the official testimonies of the 2 lead detectives Ramirez and Crawford. Do their stories actually align? And could they even answer the basic questions about the case they were assigned to lead? Part 4 of our series will take a much closer look at exactly what was said under oath.
So, are you prepared today?
I am prepared.
he charged with?
That would be for the officers that charged him. I'm not sure what he was charged with.
Mr. Ramirez, you're the leading detective on a murder case.
Mhm.
You telling me you don't know who was arrested in regards to the case that you're the lead officer in?